I got a mail from TBIT, Scrum Process Solutions, and I guess most of you got the mail. Maybe this rings the bell. And it was actually talking about a Scrum methodology. And one of my friend asked me, what is Scrum? And then I thought, yeah, this could be a good topic for my next speech. And to start, we have to know what is Scrum. Scrum is a methodology which follows agile approach. And what is agile? That is the first thing we wanted to know, or that comes to our mind. And agile is an iterative and incremental approach of software development which is performed in a highly collaborative manner by a self-motivated team producing a quality solution in a cost-effective and timely manner, and which meets the changing needs of the business. So now we know what is agile, but we still want to know how it can benefit us. The definition is good, looks catchy, but let's talk about how we do a software development today. In today's development or traditional software development, we used to follow waterfall approach, where we spend a lot of time in requirement gathering, and then we spend a lot of time doing a testing, coding, and finally documenting it and delivering the software. And most of the time what we have seen is when we deliver first version of the product, it doesn't hit the target value expected by business. And that could be because there might be some deficiency in the initial requirements, or over the course of the period, or like time the software development went through, the changes or needs of business have changed now. Then comes a second version of the software, and often we have seen that again it does not close all the gaps what business is expecting. And soon, within 5 to 7 years, with the same fashion of code change, we see that the project or a product reaches a stage where it goes beyond the minimum expected value for the product, and then a new project to replace the existing traditional project. On the other hand, we have agile approach. An agile approach, what we do is we take the requirement from the users, which is known as a product backlog, and we prioritize those requirements or tasks and then deliver first version of the product very early in the software development. Of course, this is done with a limited, not reaching the end goal, the user expected target value, but this is done very early in the development cycle. And with the iterative manner, adding more and more functionality to the product based on the feedback, continuously adding the feedback from the user and getting the more prioritized functionality, we improve the product quality and the value of the product very soon. If you could see one of the graph I have shared with everybody, here is a waterfall method, which actually we have a value here, we have a time here. So the traditional waterfall, the first version is delivered very late in the game, but if you compare the agile, which is delivered very early in the development cycle with a very limited functionality, but then with the iterative method, collaborating business, we quickly add more and more functionality and also integrate the feedbacks from them and quickly improve, and the end result is we exceed the target expected value of the application, and the result is we get an evergreen product which meets the business needs and which changes and adapts to business needs. And if you see here, in the waterfall approach, after a couple of releases, it goes beyond the minimum expected value. So this is good. So now we know what is agile and why we should use agile. But the question is, how do we use agile? This is good. Talking is good, but how do we walk the talk? So we have a Scrum methodology which tells you from the beginning, day one, what you should do, day two, what you should do, and it tells you how to manage the team, what each member of the team does, and at the end, how the product is delivered. For example, you have 3 roles in the Scrum methodology. You have a product owner who, of course, pays for the product, who prioritizes the requirements, which is also called a product backlog, and then he is the one who approves or rejects the releases. And then we have a Scrum Master who facilitates the releases within the project, and also we have and he also helps to make sure the Scrum team has all the tools to perform or to complete their task, and he also shields the Scrum team from outside world. And then we have a Scrum team. Scrum team cannot exceed from 5 to 9 members, which are very technical and cross-functional team members, which are self-motivated. Nobody controls them. They assign tasks themselves, and they are working towards working on the release backlogs. And release backlog is part of prioritized product backlog, and then we can also further split the release backlog into 4 to 12 sprints, and each sprint can have multiple tasks, and each task should be time boxed with the estimated with the help of subject matter expertise. And by doing this, we can very closely monitor when our project will end. There is something called, if you see the Scrum cheat sheet, we have something called burn down chart. This shows us what will be the velocity or what will be the end date, and we will know this very early in the game. And if something has to change, we can incorporate that very quickly instead of waiting till the end of the project. With this, I would like to conclude. Thanks, Mr. Toastmasters.